If you want to make this kind of stuff, you have to be disciplined. If you're not willing to do that, you aren't going to get it done. By day, I'm a hospital administrator, but by night, I'm trying to make a movie in Blender by myself.
Essentially learning it on the job.
Yeah, and the best way to learn is stumbling blocks, because I find when I was learning, I was just trying to do whatever was easy, and if it didn't work, I moved on to something else. But if I know I've got to make a ship crash and explode, I've learned so much in the last 2 years compared to anything I've done before. I didn't even know how to make like mouths move in CG until I started learning Blender. What's the easiest way to make a mouth move and someone's got it?
And very inspiring for others to think, this guy didn't know what he was doing at the start. Oh, that's amazing.
I spent 30 years thinking one day I'm going to make a film. But when you start, you think, why didn't I start this like a month ago? Like, why didn't I start learning Blender 10 years ago? If you want to make films, you need to make a film now.
Dave, welcome to the VFX Process.
Well, thank you for having me. I've been watching for a while, so it was awesome for you guys to get in touch.
Oh, really?
I've only been sharing my stuff for about 6 months, so I really wasn't expecting it.
Oh, brilliant, man.
I really appreciate what you do.
Oh, that's great, man. We kind of only see it from our side, so it's really nice when people, find value in it. That's the main thing, really.
Exactly. So I use it whenever I'm feeling like creative kind of lull.
Oh, yeah.
If I put you guys on, then I kind of like see other people doing the same kind of thing and think, yeah, okay, I'm back in the zone.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear. Dave, can you just introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
So by day, I'm a hospital administrator, but by night, I'm trying to make a movie in Blender by myself. It started as a bit of a hobby, and then I started pulling out a thread, and suddenly I'm in too deep, and I'm 2 years in, and I've just started showing the world what I've been up to. So it's been a bit of an eye-opener, but yeah, I'm probably the least professional person you've had on this podcast.
No, you know what? We chat with all sorts of people. So regardless of how long you've been in the industry or how long you've been learning 3D, doesn't matter.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. No, so for clarity, I've dabbled with freelance VFX work. I've been a filmmaker since I can remember, but no, I've never taken on anything like this. This is very much, I started learning Blender in lockdown, and I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through. So I would say, hopefully this time next year, I'll have a film.
Well, it's an achievement, isn't it? And we'll get into this, but, just starting something and finishing it.
No, I appreciate that, but save the applause for a year's time, because I've still got
a long way to go.
Yeah. I started posting stuff 2 years in because I thought I'll make sure I'm in a point where I know I'm probably going to finish, and then I'll start showing the world. But, anything could happen. Now I've been telling everyone about it. I think if I'd stopped making it, people would have a go at me, especially my wife. So it's likely I'll get it finished. But...
Yeah, all those late nights, Dave, and all those things.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, not to be mistaken for another Dave Brain, the Walt Disney animator who worked on Mickey Mouse and Scooby-Doo and things.
Yeah, he claims the number one spot on IMDb. I'm Dave Brain 2 on IMDb.
Dave, we are going to be talking about a project that you mentioned. It's called Kosmic Kidnap. Yeah, it started off with first character that you made in Blender in 2020, was it?
I think it was 2019. I saw that Blender was starting to get decent. I think I stumbled across it, Ian Hubert.
Oh, of course.
Like everyone else did.
Legendary.
Yeah, and then I kind of looked at it for a couple of weeks and then forgot about it, and then lockdown happened. Yeah, maybe a month into that, I traced over an alien character just using like blocks. Like I used the default cube and just traced over. That's all right, and I've done a character. About a month after that, I think I did another character. And I thought, I've got 2 characters now. Maybe I can make a film. I've always wanted to make a film. Maybe I can do it. They're not very professional, but they work. I can make a move. So let's give it a try. About 2 or 3 years after that, and I thought, actually, I've kind of learned enough that I'm just making excuses. I keep thinking, when I'm good, when I'm better. Why not just start now? Because it's not the film I've always wanted to make. It's just an experiment. So I may as well get cracking. And if it's rubbish, then so be it.
How long is it set to be, the final short?
I think it's going to be about 20-25 minutes.
That's a decent length short film.
Yeah, and I thought, I kind of wanted to make a 3-4 minute film. And you know what these things are like. But I didn't tell myself that early on. I thought I'd make a 5-minute film. And as I started getting really into it, I thought, actually, it's a bit longer than I thought.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. But it kind of is. I say 2 years, but it's probably more like 6 months spread out over 2 years. It's a lot of work when I look back at it. It doesn't feel like a lot of work when I'm making it, because it's usually like a couple of hours every few days, really.
And I'm sure I read somewhere that you've revisited old shots.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. For me, I felt like the hardest thing and the biggest challenge was to get from beginning to end on a project. I always type in like Blender short film, and it's like a 10-second test. So there's not many Blender films out there. Yeah, so I've given myself a rule of 3 strikes. So I would quite often chuck something out. I'll wake up the next day, look at it and go, I can improve that, but I'll go back to it later. And then maybe a couple of weeks later, I'll give it a second try. But I have to tell myself I need to get to the finishing line. I could go back and remake them till the cows come home. This is about getting to the end. I can do bigger and better next time.
That's what's great about this project, Dave. The goal is to do an ambitious film, learn kind of as you go with the new software, I imagine, and get it done.
I've learned so much in the last 2 years compared to anything I've done before. The best way to learn is to stumble in blocks, because I find when I was learning, I was just trying to do whatever was easy, and if it didn't work, I moved on to something else. But if I know I've got to make a ship crash and explode, I've got to work out how to do it, and then I get all the problems with like the soft body physics and all that, and I have to learn how to do that. But I'm so invested that I feel like I have to learn, and now I can do it like that in my sleep.
Brilliant, man.
So yeah, I think it's a great way to learn. Absolutely. Yeah, and I think like even if you're thinking about doing it, you don't have to show anyone. Just to maybe make a little project for yourself if you're feeling embarrassed about it. Because I'm kind of embarrassed about the characters. Like, I can do better. They say things like the characters models are rubbish, the topology is rubbish. It's like, I know, because I did it a long time ago.
Yeah.
but it's all part of the fun.
What's it like for you, Dave, from the very start, from the writing phase to like, you know, do you storyboard? Do you do little sketches? What's it look like from start to a finished shot?
So I went to storyboard it and I realised I can draw.
Problem number 1.
yeah. It's the great thing about 3D is that you can just kind of shove stuff together. I've kind of learned a lot about like colour schemes and stuff, because when I started, it was just picking any colour that I wanted. And as I've kind of been doing it, I've kind of realised maybe I should stick to 2 colours and get a look. But mainly animatics, that's a good way to do it. I've learned a lot about timing. Timing is, a lot of people have said actually that timing is kind of like that. The hardest thing, they don't know how to time stuff. In terms of writing, I've written a rough plan. I've kind of written like a vague shot plan that is I've kind of improvising as I go. But also I've made the beginning, I've made the end, because I thought I would have more drive if I'd already had the end already in place, because I just want to get to like piece all the bits together. Because I'm not really a storyteller. I love cinematography, editing, visual effects, love all that. But I even wrote it with dialogue in mind, and I thought, let's not give myself too many. I don't want to start screenwriting as my first big project, so I thought I'd just keep it like a silent movie. And the good thing about not working with other people as well and just doing it in a beat form is that I can put it together, watch it, show it to my family, and they'll say that doesn't make any sense, and I can just go straight back and just add some extra shots.
Brilliant, man. And then do your kids get involved with like, Dad, that's terrible, I don't understand it, can you change that? How much influence any input do your kids have with a short film like this?
Yeah, absolutely. My son, who's 9, he's probably the biggest critic, but it's good. It's good. It's good criticism. It's very honest, and I've been showing it mainly to people who don't make films.
It's a different perspective, isn't it? It's a different, eyes on the story that don't necessarily look and read and write and create stories themselves. They're just looking at it as a viewer.
Yeah, my filmmaking friends will say like, "Oh, he's crossed the line," or "He's clipped through that floor," or whatever. I'm kind of thinking, I'm not too worried about that. I want to know if it works as a film. I want to know if it makes people laugh. I want to know if it's interesting.
Brilliant. And you've got experience. I read that you was an editor at Aardman, and I know that your father worked as an animator at Aardman as well.
So my dad passed away 9 years ago, but he was a stop motion animator. I did some very basic jobs at Aardman, but my dad had his own animation company when I was a kid, and he lost it about the year 2000. Literally over the road to Aardman, my dad had his own building, and they were very friendly rivals.
Oh, really? Was that Gas Ferry Road or Aztec?
Gas Ferry Road, where they now build puppets. It's called Puppet Place, and that was my dad's
amazing
animation building. So they'd have barbecues at each other's places and stuff. Aardman was it was big, but it was quite small. But when my dad's business folded, they said, "Oh, over the road then." As in a lot of the Bristol, there was a lot of animation companies in Bristol, and they all just slowly ended up at Aardman.
What kind of advantages did you find that Blender was kind of giving you from early on? I know you mentioned, you looked at 3ds Max. It takes a lot of work and understanding of that to get great results.
Yeah.
But in Blender, seeing things like Eevee.
The first thing that struck me was I've got a very old computer, and so I was using cycles. I was like, this, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And I flicked over to Eevee. I was like, actually, I was expecting it to look like an old game, and it actually looked all right. And another thing I'm a fan of is muscle memory, and I just spend the first 3 or 4 weeks just navigating the viewport and putting objects in. And the more I just got used to using the viewport, I was like, well, I can easily move around and animate shapes now.
That's great, man. That's a great way to learn, actually, to just, just setting yourself little things of like, okay, this is how you make a a ball, I'm going to scale it, I'm going to render it. Here's all the kind of, places I need to go to do the things I need to do at the time.
No, 100%. My biggest, whenever people say, how do I learn Blender? I say, don't do the donut yet. Do it in a month. Just put objects in, move them around, extrude, learn the viewport. Just have a look at the menus. Don't click on anything. Just have a look and see where everything is. I think when people learn the donut straight away, they do it. They do a great job, and then they forget everything they've done.
Was there any kind of point early on where your ambitions for the project kind of outpaced your skills, or did you think, okay, I've got an explosion coming up? You'll know that point's coming, but then you think, okay, when I get to that point, I will find a way to do it, and I'll go into the tutorial method.
I actually kind of look forward to them a little bit, because when you're just doing characters walking around and like expressing it, can get a bit dull. I'm trying not to jump into the exciting stuff. I'm trying to get through the mundane stuff so I can get to the exciting shots. So I kind of get excited about learning like explosions and stuff, and then the day will come and I'll learn how to do it. But yeah, there's so many tutorials, the usual suspects. The good thing about Blender is I would say like, oh, how do I make a character blink?
There's a video somewhere, yeah.
You're gonna find something. It's amazing. Yeah, I couldn't get over it. It's like I didn't even know how to make like mouths move in CG until I started learning Blender. And there was like 8 different ways to do it. And then so you go, what's the easiest way to make a mouth move? And someone's got it. And the good thing about this film as well is I've literally just made it so I could do fun stuff. I grew up on Star Wars and Red Dwarf and ships crashing into things, and all that is my wheelhouse, and that's kind of what I want to do. So I just want to make it fun. Like I want to learn how to make ships move and articulate, because that's what this kind of stuff that excites me. So I think if you're trying to make a film, you don't really know where to begin. Make stuff you want to make. You need to drive, otherwise you're not going to do it.
Yeah, definitely, man. How many big, fun, exciting shots on the horizon for the rest?
Yeah, so I've done the beginning and the end, and I've kind of got a middle sequence, which is kind of like what they call the fun and game section of script writing, which is literally the bit where you kind of delve away from the plot and just have a bit of fun with it. So it's a big chase scene, and I can't wait. I've got to get through another 10 or so mundane shots. Once I get to that, they get into their vehicles, and you can do the silly fun stuff, crashing into things, flying around, blowing things up. So cannot wait. But I'm telling you, it's so easy to just like want to do that.
Yeah.
And then ignore the mundane stuff. So I'd say you must do these 10 mundane shots, and then you can do the fun stuff. That's kind of how I get motivated.
It's that drive, is it, to kind of get it done? Because I can leave all the fun stuff to the very end, when maybe some people's motivation is like, oh, I just want to get it done, I'm tired. But you're kind of working up to that really exciting chase moment where you can have extra fun.
The boring stuff is still like, I'm still trying to make it interesting for a viewer, but to sit there and have a character kind of go, it's not the most exciting way to spend an evening. Once I get into the fun stuff, I'm flying. And then when I piggyback off that into the boring stuff, I'm still in the zone. It's when I kind of have breaks and stuff, I struggle to get back in, even with the fun stuff. There's one reason I started putting stuff on Instagram and all that. It's just kind of so people would nag and say, when's it coming out?
Yeah.
So I've got a few people to kind of get me going, really. If you want to make this kind of stuff, you have to be disciplined. If you're not willing to do that, you aren't going to get it done. Many
people say it's like a lonely space if you're just fully working on something on your own for too long. Whereas if you put it out there a little bit, they're kind of that, that sideline that help you just keep going. Because if you get a few likes and a comment, if someone goes, oh, that looks cool, man, I can't wait to see the next shot. It's that extra little push of like, there's people with me on this journey, Yeah, and that's a good way of going back to like learning Blender. That's a great way to get the motivation, is just make a little silly shot and easy, put it on Instagram. Instagram's great for that. Get 2 or 3 likes is enough to kind of make you go, oh, it was fun, I'll do another one. And that's how I kind of kept going. I just make like silly little animations. But then I went dark and didn't show anyone apart from my family and 1 or 2 friends. And it's very odd making stuff and you don't know if it's working. Like I trusted my friends and family, but I wasn't showing that many people. So it was quite lonely, yeah. And then I started putting stuff out last Christmas, and suddenly people were like, "Oh, that's interesting." Oh, obviously it has its haters, but always,
you kind of have to tell yourself it might be a bit lonely for a bit.
Was there any kind of feeling of imposter syndrome?
Definitely imposter syndrome. Like, I'm not a Blender expert. I've not been using it that long. The stuff I show is kind of like, here's the proper way to do it. Here's how I do it. Is like I'm just shoving a few bits together with digital sellotape, and it kind of works. That's kind of what I'm doing. So that's kind of hopefully motivational and inspirational enough for people who are amateur. Because I'm not rigging faces. I'm just using shape keys. So I'm kind of saying I've not set up a rig. I'm just kind of bodging this shape key thing together. It's not professional. Luckily, 95% 5% of people will accept that, which has been nice. But otherwise, there's the 5% go, that's not the way to do it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know.
Yeah, and you constantly, like you said earlier, I have to keep telling everybody, like, look, this character I did, my first character, I'm just getting across the finish line. I just want to get it done. Just pipe down a little bit. Like, I've heard this plenty of times. Just let me carry on with my film.
Yeah, the same with like topology. People, whenever I reveal any shot with a wireframe, I get a comment like, "That topology, bro." It's like, I know, I don't know what I'm doing. But luckily, it's been good fun. Yeah, the main thing is I've made a few like online buddies as well, which kind of spurred me on in the same world. People trying to do the same thing, which I didn't know about before, which is great. But yeah, there's things like I didn't know anything about scale because I'd started with a default cube. I built our main character. So when I started animating, I kind of learned that these characters I built are like the side of a house. I was wondering why lights weren't really working.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
scene scale.
Yeah, so I kind of put a video out saying you need to be aware of scale because I wasn't aware of scale when I made these massive characters, and now everything's a pain in the ass, especially simulations and things like that. Thousands and thousands of comments like, "You idiot! Scale was the first thing you think about." I didn't know. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to be vulnerable. I'm trying to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. One day, some of you watching this, you will know what you're doing, but hopefully you'll make something and not be put off by these people. That's kind of the idea.
Well, you know what I love, because I listened to another podcast, ILM's podcast. It's called Lighter Darker Podcast. Amazing. They want to like not know how to do something and then work out how to do it. Number one, massive learning curve. Number two, it's new and a way to push yourself or your team of like, how can we do this thing? How can we get it to work? Like, that's exciting. Like, and for you, you know, from early on, like, it's exciting when you learn how to get the mouth moving in your own way and it works for you, and very inspiring for others to think this guy didn't know what he was doing at the start. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, that's the bit when I didn't know how to make a mouth move. I actually made a video saying like very, very basic mouth animation for beginners, something like that, and I literally had a box with a hole in it and I made the hole do that, and I was like, it looks like a robot talking. I can't believe that. It's magic. Going back to like ILM and stuff, I loved like when they did like Phantom Menace and stuff. I think actually they talked about actually in one of the videos with that guy with the salt.
Amazing. For the was it the waterfall?
Water, yeah. And he did the same thing. It's like no simulation, just pour some salt out. And going back to my dad, I remember he was a big fan of like that kind of problem solving, but in the simplest way possible. So they got a motion control rig in and spent a day doing it. And then towards the afternoon, my dad said, if we just put it on a bit of fishing wire, I'll hold it really still. You animate it, I'll hold it. You can be in the pub in 2 hours. It's like, that's kind of, I love that kind of stuff. It's just like, as long as you get any results on the screen and you problem solve it and you have a laugh.
I love those problem solving, head scratching moments. Like, I think we should try this. And there's other people that go, that's not the way to do it.
Yeah, I get a lot of that actually. A lot of those comments. Like, that's not the way to do it. But it's
what is the way to do it? What is the way to do it? It's like there's a million ways to skin a cat.
Yeah, exactly. And even like with like simulations and stuff, sometimes it's just easier. I'm rigging because I didn't rig the landing gear on my spaceship in my thing. It kind of does that. And like I thought I could spend 3 hours learning how to rig, or I could just go from keyframe that to keyframe that and just time it right, and then I can just copy and paste that for the rest of my movie, and I saved myself a few hours. And I know how to rig that kind of stuff now. But I'm 3 years on, and I'm just copying and pasting my initial animation because it works. It's like it's what people see at the end of the day. If I was working with a big team and we were about to go on a 5-year feature film production, then maybe I would rig it so that everyone can use it in the best way possible. But and the same with like topology and things like that. But when you're working on your own, just get stuff done.
Talking about animation then, Dave, what was that development like from going from the simple animations to like walk cycles and character-driven animation? Because you've got to consider rigging, movement, timing. What was that journey like?
Yeah, hard. Yeah, that was a hard bit. I think so. I just used Rigify for the main character, but I used a tutorial for that. I couldn't get my head around it at all. Again, with the muscle memory thing, it was just I just kept using it. I just kept playing with it. You know, when you move the body and everything stays in place.
Yeah, IKFK, all that.
Yeah, and I kind of just got used to it. But still, I still can't do a walk cycle. Most of my walking shots, it's just the head up, covering my ass with that kind of stuff, really. There's one shot at the beginning where the character walks and it's a long shot, and this is probably the only shot I've done more than my 3 strike rule on it. I think I've done it about 5 times. Because, just learning how to make a foot do that. And one thing that's really good, I love importing video into Blender and like tracing it. So if you film a video on your iPhone walking, you can literally just put it in the scene and trace over it. I couldn't get the character to feel like it was thinking for ages, and I just started filming myself going like that, and I just put that video next to the character and literally beat for beat copied my eyebrows, deleted the video, and it played it back. It works.
That's what you see animators do all the time. Like you're a proper animator if you do that. You know, the time span and learning as you go along. Do you feel like it's visually changing throughout because of things like that?
Oh yeah. So my first scene, which I did, this was a texture with a displacement map for the floor and a plug-in for a mountain in the background. That's all the first scene is. The last scene is a lot better. I actually built a hangar for a spaceship. That was me learning how to build like a set, and then learned to light it. And I relit it like 3 times until I lit it and didn't look very good. And I just kept doing it. And now I'm working on the middle scene, and that is like stepped up again. So people are going to watch it, it's going to be like really poor, a lot better, and then all right.
But it shows the progress, doesn't it? There's something beautiful about that. Like, look at this project. I've spent years making it. I learned from essentially learning it on the job.
Yeah, I think so. But the only problem is like the beginning is going to be like the characters are really basic, and then the characters in the middle are quite advanced and quite well textured, and the sets are quite well done. But again, it's that thing where it's like I could go back and redo the beginning.
You just want to get it done though.
Yeah, and I'm glad I kind of did it out of order in a weird way, because I think it would literally be like it looks rubbish in the beginning and looks a bit better by the end. So at least it's a bit more higgledy-piggledy, I guess.
And it's an ambitious one. You're doing not just a 5-minute short film, you know. It's a, say, half an hour film that you've done. It's a massive like training ground, and you're going to take all what you've learned from this one and go into the next one.
Yeah, people like me grew up on things like Toy Story and stuff, but no amateurs are making things like Toy Story. They're making either really artistic, thought-provoking pieces or like really polished kind of short films. So I kind of try to make something a bit more like Pixar-esque, but I think next time I will kind of make it a bit more polished. Even if it's simple, like I've seen you spoken to him as well, actually, what's his name? He did All Boys Go to Jupiter.
Oh yeah, Julian Glander.
Yeah, it looks so good. I cannot wait to watch that. But that's kind of a good way of a simple style that's actually really polished. And I think to do something like that next would be great, actually.
For somebody that's, you know, not only learning how to model, rig, do all the stuff, explosions, all that business, you've got to consider, you know, how to manage these files and organise something as you ride in the roller coaster. What's it look like?
There's one thing I've actually been quite neat with is a file structure. I was quite early on. Textures folder, scene 1 folder, models folder, character models in progress folder, character model for on-screen use folder. Yeah, so that is all very organized on its own hard drive that is backed up. And I learned the hard way at Christmas when my computer died.
Uh-oh.
And the best thing was not just the backup, but when I then put that hard drive into the new computer setup, it all worked great.
Phew.
And I've also made a list of like things I desperately want to change. So I've got things I'm definitely going to change, the things I'd quite like to change, things I don't know how to change yet to look into, and I've got things that I could change where like there's one bit where like a bit of fur goes through the floor and you can kind of see it on a big TV, but you can't see it on a YouTube, on a monitor, and I kind of thought, well, I can save that for the end, and if I don't do it...
Like priority list of fixes and things like that.
So I am vaguely organised, but in the same breath, I can tell you what the next shot's going to be, but I couldn't tell you what the shot after that's going to be, because I'm going to animate this shot, and then I'll work out what the next shot is, and then I'll work out what the next shot is, but I know what the shot's going to be in about 10 shots time. So some organisation, but again, I think as well, if I make it too much like a job, I'm not going to want to do it. It still has to be my hobby. It is my hobby. This whole project is my hobby. I need to keep it my hobby.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, it's just really interesting because everybody works, you know, differently, and some people are more organised than others. But as long as you're getting the job done, especially when you're working, you know, on your own and you're the only one picking up these scene files, as long as you know how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you considered on future projects about working with other artists and things, or is the next one also going to be a solo adventure?
Yeah, I think if I could get a budget together, I'd love to work with animators, friends. There's been a few people I've kind of got to know online these last few months. At the minute, my project's such a in my own head, and I've got no money that I don't want to kind of give it to other people. But I thought if I can raise a couple of grand and say, I'll give you like $2,000 to do this bit and I'll do this bit. I'd love to do that. I think it'll be in my future if I can do it one way or another. You know,
is there any like Patreon page, any way that people can support you as an artist, Dave? Is there anything like that set up?
I've only been putting it out there for 6 months. I don't know if people are that invested enough to want to do Patreon. I've set it up. There's a link to it on my YouTube. I've put one post up just to see how many people looked at it. I've been looking at the insights and people have been looking at it. I really want to either do Patreon or like a Kickstarter thing, but I'm trying to make my behind the scenes stuff valuable to people. So I hope people can find it valuable enough to maybe support me in the future. And it is up there and it's live, but I'm just testing the water with it. But certainly I appreciate people looking at my stuff. If you can Google Dave Makes a Movie.
It's great when creators support creators. That's why I asked, because many people ride this, this journey, sometimes on their own, sometimes with a small team. Every little helps. It sounds so cliche to say, like and comment really helps the channel, but it really does.
Yeah, it's been lovely. I mean, just seeing a few familiar faces on posts has been really nice. Like people are starting to kind of, it feels a bit like I'm kind of struggling near like a finish line and people going, come on, you can do it.
Yeah, man.
It's been lovely, yeah.
Can we wrap up with advice for other filmmakers that may be, let's say I want to make a film, I've got an idea. What kind of advice can you give to somebody that, come on, let's just start it?
Yeah, my main thing is start now, start today. Like if you've been wanting to make it and you've watched this, turn it off and load up Blender, download it, start playing around with it. You won't make a film tonight, but if you watch a couple of tutorials, you might have something you can post on Instagram, and post it on Instagram, enjoy the feedback, post another thing, latch onto that. The more you do it, in 2 months' time, you could be making your first character like I was. My main thing was that I spent 30 years thinking one day I'm going to make a film, and now I'm making a film. And when you start, you think, why didn't I start this like a month ago? Like, why didn't I start learning Blender 10 years ago? Why didn't I start making this film 5 years ago? To start now, if you can't start now, book a day off next month. So that's the day I'm going to start. That's what I did. I booked 2 days off work. That's the day I started. And I haven't stopped since then.
That's great.
There's another thing as well. It's a bit tiring when you start, but when you get into the flow of it, it just gets easier and easier. And to the point now where I could just there's a shot I've been wanting to correct. And if I just sat on the computer for half an hour, I could do it with my eyes closed whilst eating dinner. It's like, whereas back like a year ago, that would have been like a weekend of sorting.
Brilliant, man.
If you want to make films, you need to make a film now. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. Because like I said, I hit 40. My dad passed away when he was 60. My granddad died younger than me. It's like time is short, not to get too doom and gloom.
No, it's true though. It's so true, man.
Yeah, life is really short, and I want to be known as a filmmaker. If you want to be that person, you have to get off your bum and do it. And you can do it without it taking over your whole life. I'm doing it in the spaces I'd maybe be playing a computer game. Because I always think as well, if you want to watch a film, if you want to play a game, if you want to read a book, you will find the time to do that. There's no excuses. If I want to watch the film, I'll say I'm going to watch the film on Tuesday. So I have to tell it like that, really. I want to make the film on Thursday.
Everybody's got time to do it. You just need to just readjust your day and just squeeze in a little bit here. And even if it's, I'm going to watch a video and draw a character in 15 minutes, like that little bit that you've done is the start. And if you can get that into your routine,
that's the way to do it. I think is just don't pressure yourself as well.
It's that balance, isn't it?
The goal is to kind of beat the balance.
Yeah.
Find the magical balance.
Because there's the pressure to get it done, but then they shouldn't put too much pressure on it to get it done. But you should have that fire lit to get it done. So there's the achieving the goal, but you don't want to put too much on yourself and beat yourself up.
Yeah, I kind of found that as well when I was been doing the freelance stuff on and off for the years. But my hobby had become a job, and then I was just finding it all dull. So you have to just make it interesting for yourself and fun, and not burn yourself out. Because I think as well, burnout is the other big thing. It's the other end of the scale, is just going to town and just going nuts to the point where you don't want to do it anymore. I always find it weird when people achieve their goal and then don't want to do it again. They want to become an animator, so they end up working for Disney, and then after a couple of years ago, I'm never doing that again. It's like you probably went too hard too quickly.
Absolutely, man. I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I think just keep it a hobby, and because everyone can do their hobby.
And just remember to back up, everybody. If you're living on a project for a few weeks, you don't want to come back and go,
if I lost everything now, it would be like losing a loved one.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I've been backing up online, and I made just this week, I made my first physical copy on a hard drive that I'm going to put in another building. So if the house burns down...
everything will be fine.
Yeah. As long as the kids are out.
Kids are out and the project's backed up. All is good.
Yeah, otherwise I'm going to be the madman running into the building trying to get the hard drive. Oh, very lovely. Just make life easier for yourself.
100%. Dave, to wrap up, I've got 3 questions here. So the first one is one Blender tool or add-on that you couldn't live without.
Does Rigify count? Otherwise, the only one I've paid for is Ian Hubert's Shakeify, the camera shake
That's
thing.
worth every penny.
Yeah, I've used it for most shots, not just for like handheld stuff, but it's better than using noise modifiers for camera shake and things like that. It just looks natural. I think you can always see fake camera shake in like special effects with explosions and stuff. But yeah, you just have to ramp up the Shakeify and then bring it back down. It's really easy to control.
Top add-on, yeah, 100%. That's on our list as well. Second question is, do you have a biggest oops moment that still makes you laugh on this project?
When there's one person looking at these shots, I just see what I want to see. And it was only when I showed it to my friend for the first time and he put it on his projector, I could see like feet going through floors and pupils in the wrong directions and things like that. It was I hadn't realised that there's a glass bore around the eye, and they were the same size. So if one moved independently of the other, they were clipping there. I hadn't seen that at all. So that was my biggest oops. It was like, maybe you should show people. Because in professional productions, when my dad was an animator, they would we'll get together on a Friday and look at everyone's work and discuss it. You need to do that, really. You need to have other people's eyes on it. Otherwise, you are going to make several oopsies.
Definitely, man. And finally, Dave, can you describe your filmmaking style in just 3 words?
Okay. Definitely amateur. I'm learning a lot, but it's definitely amateur. Retro, because everyone tells me it looks like a 90s. But I think that's because this is mainly what I grew up with. What's the other one? Silly, I think. I'm not really going for anything serious. I'm not going for a nice, cool artistic style. I'm not going for, I don't consider myself an artist as such. I guess technically I'm an artist because I'm making art, but I see myself as a silly guy making a silly little film with silly aliens.
Well, I love the promo title for it. Just movie. Dave makes a movie, straight to the point. That's what you're doing. You're making a movie, and
you do exactly what it says on the tin. I'm trying to make a movie.
Awesome.
My name's Dave.
Perfect. And then it'll be Dave made a film.
Let's do. Yeah, what am I going to do next?
And then Dave makes another film.
Yeah. Dave made a fool of himself.
Well, Dave, we wish you all the best. Honestly, hats off to you. This is incredible to hear about your journey, man, and we wish you all the best with it.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me. And it's been so lovely to meet you. I feel like I know you already because I've watched your stuff for so long. But I really appreciate the support.
Yeah, man.
I'll be in touch though when I've made it.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to see it. And you mentioned it earlier, Dave, but can you just let everybody know where they can find and support you, whether it's a like, subscribe, all that stuff? It means a lot. So where do you exist in the internet?
I'd say Instagram's the main thing. Dave makes a movie on Instagram. That's kind of my main home. My second home is YouTube, where I'm starting to try and make some longer form stuff. So that's Dave Makes a Movie, or Dave Brain VFX is the username. But Dave Makes a Movie, you'll find it. And I'm on TikTok and things like that. And I have got the Patreon as well. You can find the links on my YouTube account in the links folder. But if you find Dave Makes a Movie, you'll find me.
Awesome, man. Well, all the best with the rest of the movie, Dave. We cannot wait to see it. Keep smashing it.
If anyone's watching this video in 2 years' time and I haven't made it, I'm really sorry. but
Dave didn't make the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to change all the handles there, Dave.
Please delete this shameful video. But no, I think hopefully if you've been watching this, hopefully if you're watching this in 6 months' time, you'll be able to watch it somewhere.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate your time.
Take it easy.